situated. These airplanes belong to the great Mahatmas or devotees of the Lord. The ladies are as beautiful as lightning because of their celestial complexions, and all these combined together appear just like the sky, decorated with both clouds and lightning. So, yeah, lightning. It's beautiful, like a lightning storm, glowing. I'll stop here. Thank you very much for your time and listening. Hare Krishna. Any comments or questions or Leonard Cohen?
Okay, thank you, Parampara. So I am one of those people that are fascinated with UFOs. So for me, the connection with the Vimanas is very meaningful. And just to maybe help clarify people's understanding of the Vimanas, one way of looking at it would be that the Vimanas themselves have consciousness. They are actually conscious entities. Yes, you emphasize they're not material, and they're made of the Brahman. But to understand it better, think of them like you alluded to, Shiva riding the bull, and so yeah, they are actually conscious entities themselves, and so they're powered by the subtle energies, the mind. So maybe there's some communication between a demigod and the actual vehicle, which is conscious, and so the demigod can just communicate with it since it has consciousness too, and say, hey, come on, pick me up here over at this bus, over at this planet, and take me to this planet. And there's actually confirmation for this when you listen to the testimony of experiencers and people that have been claimed to have been abducted onto these spaceships by aliens. And many of them do experience the ships as being conscious themselves. They sense the ships are conscious, even when they're seeing them in the sky at a distance, and they feel that they can communicate with the ship by, for example, they could make it come closer, go farther away, go left, right, and there's communication. It seems like there's some communication between the ship and other entities' minds. So yes, the ship seems to have some awareness, some consciousness of themselves. And I'll also refer people that might be interested to this wonderful book by Richard Thompson. I forget his devotee name, but it's called Alien Identities. There's a whole chapter in here about Vimanas in Vedic literature. They talk about the flying city of Hiranyapura, Ravana's aerial mansion. I mean, by Kunta Vimanas, it's really pretty fantastic book. It's one of my favorite UFO books because it combines a history of UFOs after the Vedas and then UFOs from the Vedic perspective. So it kind of puts it all together for all the UFO enthusiasts who might be devotees like me. Anyway, strongly recommend Alien Identities. And yes, I appreciate this idea of the conspiracy thing. I can't really comment about that, but I appreciate your class, Parampara. Always enjoy the chance to talk about Vimanas. One of my favorite things. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, I appreciate you highlighting that. Yeah, I think I was trying to get there, but that puts it. Yeah, that these Vimanas, they're not yet just dead gross matter. That they have a consciousness. There's a personality. That they're personalities. That Garuda is not just an ego; it's a personality. He's a spirit. It's a worshipable personality, and he's a devotee of the Lord. So these vehicles. And likewise, not just the vehicles, but in Vaikuntha, everything is imbued with consciousness. It is Brahman itself, so Satchidananda, so that there's everything living, supposedly in our realm, we might say living or non-living thing, but everything in Vaikuntha is imbued with consciousness and a personality, because yeah, thank you for highlighting that. Hare Krishna.
Right, because on Vaikuntha, well, okay, no. Yeah, the trees are swaying to the sounds of Krishna's flute, so they're not material trees. You know, they have some kind of uh, well, they don't act like the trees on our material planet, so they have some kind of different kinds of consciousness, more advanced consciousness. You know, the wish fulfilling cows. You know, but actually, yeah. So there's a strong spiritual element on the Vaikuntha planets, and yeah, I'm just trying to also. It gets a little confusing for me because Brahma. Okay, yeah, we're not talking about Brahma. We're talking about Brahman. That always gets me a little messed up. I'm gonna be quiet
Brahman,
now.
like the Brahman, like the all-pervading feature of the Lord, the all-pervading
Versus
energy of the
right,
Lord, versus
versus Brahma, who is also actually material. Creative universe is a material entity. So not to get confused between Brahma and Brahman.
right. It's a helpful distinction to make.
Thank you, Param.
Nandini?
I appreciate your class and especially how you put all this like aliens and UFOs and conspiracy theories in the context of Srimad Bhagavatam. And I see like in my own life, whenever I heard of aliens or conspiracy theories, I felt like a lot of uncertainty and fear. Like I felt it as something daunting, like what is it and how powerful is all this really? And now, in the context of Srimad Bhagavatam, I can actually like consider and speak about and read about and have a conversation about conspiracy theories or aliens in a and I don't feel fear.
Nice.
And then I appreciated how you shared about the carriers of Vishnu and Indra and I felt some humor because we gave our car a name. It's not a living entity, but still, it's like it carries us and supports us in our endeavors. So, thanks for your class.
Thank you. Yes. So yeah, you feel not as those is yeah. I think it's a big part of the alien and UFO experience is that it is scary, and that's why it's kind of can get attention and so yeah, I've had the experience of being afraid. You know, UFOs, aliens, it's scary. People are scared by that. There's like horror movies and things about it. You know, so yeah, and that yeah, something that um, and maybe this is doing some speculation here, but maybe you know it's really that we're afraid that there's anything that's more advanced than we are. You know that there's aliens that are able to travel through different you know planets and stuff, and we can't do that. That's scary. There's somebody more powerful than us. You know, there's a species or there's a race that's more powerful than us. We're the most powerful. We're at the apex of creation and evolution and time and space. And so wow, they could be more powerful than us. And then but then yeah, Prabhupada describes, I think he describes that there's even lower planets, hellish planets that are more advanced technologically, with space travel and things like that. So it's not even so. So yeah, one thing I mentioned is that yeah, that there's there's nobody, no planet, no society, no species, no alien that has any advantage, of us spiritually when it comes to um, the ultimate goal of life and existence. That what Prabhupada is giving is universal, and not just universal. I mean, like we have a conception of universal, just this planet, the universal truths or things like that. Universal meaning the whole universe. That nobody in the whole universe, alien species or whatever, has any advantage over us. When it comes to the ultimate goal of life, and you know, and solving that ultimate conspiracy, that nobody has a leg up on us when we're hearing from Prabhupada in the disciplic in the Parampara disciplic succession from Krishna himself, who is obviously the source of all alien species. And something else, I think, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for sharing, Anandini. Is Kelly?
Thank you for your class this morning. It was interesting to hear about airplanes. And it's confusing at first until you described how different they are from what we know. But I wanted to ask Anandini, you mentioned being able to talk about conspiracy theory without fear. And I appreciated the connection with the aliens, Parampara, and no fear, that there's nothing above us spiritually. And I'm wondering, the connection, like conspiracy theory for me is a scary thing. And so I'm wondering, I'm looking for clarity there, how to find not connecting with fear and conspiracy theory. If you would mind expanding on that.
Okay. Well, were you asking Anandini, or you were?
Either one of you,
Okay.
whoever has input is great.
Well, I'll start, and then maybe anyone else would like to share. But so yeah, I think similar like UFOs, like outside UFOs or aliens by themselves can be scary. But then if we look at it in the context of Srila Prabhupada and what he's giving, then it's like it fits into the context, and then there's like a place for it and a way to understand it. And for me, at least, it's not so big and scary. So like, okay, so there's so we pick a conspiracy. So there's demons that are controlling the food supply and poisoning us to kill 75% of the population. So it's no secret that the history of the Vedas is filled with demons, with huge demonic plots to take over the universe, and they succeeded in different ways into and so that's a huge part of what Krishna's incarnations, Krishna's avatars, and whenever he descends to the material world, is to vanquish the demons and to protect the devotees. So he loves to do that. And so there's no it's like for sure there's demons that are like have demonic plots and that are trying to take over the world and control the world, control the universe. And in this Kali Yuga, so that's the mission of Krishna when he descends to the material world, is to vanquish the demons and protect the devotees. And then in Kali Yuga, I saw this one, I don't know how verified it is, but I saw this one thing that was like in Satya Yuga. I could ask somebody to clarify maybe later, but Satya Yuga, like demons and the demons and the demigods or devotees or whatever were on different planets, and then, and so there's more separation. It's like very clear. There's different realms for those. And then as the yugas degraded, then they became closer, and to where it's like, okay, not different planets, then the same planet, then the same family, and then in Kali Yuga, the same person. So we all have demon demonic energies and divine energies, within the same person, the same body. That's Kali Yuga, that we're all have demonic tendencies. So previous ages, it was more clear cut. There's demons and there's the divine, and now we're all mixed up together. So that's why Lord Chaitanya, as an avatar, as Lord Krishna himself, he couldn't just come and kill all the demons, because he'd be killing everybody because everybody's a demon. So his mission, as Lord Chaitanya, Lord Chaitanya's moon is rising on Sunday, is Gaura Purnima, the appearance day of Lord Chaitanya. So his appearance, his mission was to destroy the demonic energy within the hearts of the living entities, of all of us. And the weapon was through the holy name, the mantra, Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and the whole process, Sankirtan, Yagna. That was the weapon. And it said that his followers were like the soldiers in the army, or his weapons. So that's the mission. That's the mission of this age, is not to kill all the demons. It's to kill the demonic energy within our heart, within our own heart, and to support others to do the same. So that's why, it's like, okay, the conspiracy theories say, like, okay, yeah, there's demons and they need to be stopped. And it's like, okay, what Prabhupada's giving is, yes, there's demons, they need to be stopped, and we're one of them. And so it starts with us, and it starts with purifying and, pulling out the weeds, pulling the weeds, purifying our heart, and transforming the demonic energy into divine energy, and supporting others to do the same. And that's the revolution in consciousness. That's the revolution that will actually work to create a different experience in the terms of, in terms of this world. So that's like, that's helpful for me. And that's kind of where I go. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, that was a new perspective to hear. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, I appreciate the discussion. Yeah, okay, so generally fear is darkness, and then we're freed from fear when we come to the light as a general principle. And just okay, if it's dark night, we're scared. Is that a snake? Is there someone behind the bush about to attack me? I can't see. And then even when even before the sun rises, but just the glimmers of dawn, there's a few glimmers of light, and our fear is relieved. We can see, and we're just not scared anymore. And so, okay, so it's described Krishna Surya Sama, Maya Haya Andhakar. Krishna is like the sun, and Maya is darkness. So, okay, in terms of, let's call it conspiracy theories within this world, and some are nonsense, some are true. Was Kennedy assassinated? Was it a conspiracy of the CIA? Even the presidential elections, maybe it's just a conspiracy of the international corporate magnates. And Parampara mentioned one about the food supply. Okay, so now the thing about all the conspiracy theories is that even if they're true, then everyone, whether it's the international corporate politicians, executives, CIA, that everyone involved in doing the conspiracy, they are all victims. That's important. They are all victims of what Parampara termed the ultimate conspiracy. It's not the ultimate conspiracy theory. It's not a theory. It's a fact that they're all victims of Maya. Maya means, yeah, yeah, I'm thinking I'm this body. I'm forgetting that I'm spirit. So this whole thing is like a dream world. So materially, even if a particular conspiracy theory is true, okay, I mean, and some people can research that, sure, but everyone involved in perpetrating, like, oh, they are trying to control and exploit through these devious schemes, could be. They themselves are under Maya. They're in bodies that will grow old, become diseased, and die. And according to their consciousness, they're all victims of that ultimate conspiracy. So that's important perspective. And then, so fear means darkness. And once we come to the light of knowledge, then our fear is gone. We transcend our fear. So as Parampara emphasized, so Prabhupada, representing the light of the Bhagavat, representing the light of the Bhagavat, Prabhupada's giving us a process for knowledge to come out of the ultimate conspiracy, to come out of the darkness of Maya, of illusion, and come to the light of Krishna consciousness, the light of who we are as radiant spirit souls, servants of God. And to the extent that we use each moment of our life to come to the light of the Bhagavat, light of Krishna consciousness, then fear is gone. Then fear is gone. Whether it's fear of this conspiracy theory, this pandemic, this economic crisis, then fear is transformed into joy and inspiration and knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Anandini, go ahead.
Yes, I just wanted to add, because Kelly, you also asked me. Well, I reconsidered. I don't think I'm fearless. No, I can, but at least I can think about and listen to conspiracy theories without, withdrawing inside and going numb and not wanting to exist anymore. And rather like consider it and also it could be true. I don't know. It could be true, and I know now where I can take shelter. I know where the place is where I feel safe and sheltered, protected, and that's Krishna, and that's the place here, and that's chanting, and it's not that I'm fearless. I think I'm the most fearful person I know.
Thank you for sharing that. That's also very helpful. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, not fearless, but know where to go with your fear, know where to take shelter. When you are feeling fear, seems like that's probably all we can hope for. That's all I would hope for. And dear Govinda, I appreciate your kind of giving empathy for the demons and the conspirators. That they're victims. They're victims of the same thing. And yes, I think that's an important point. Is like I think this is, you see this in materials world, just regular consciousness of like, I can't think of the proper phrasing, but someone, it's like depends on someone's options, like someone with more money and resources can get into more trouble and have more temptations and more ways to get in trouble, basically. Remember someone so these so we all have our own God project. Like we're all kind of in the same boat, victims of Maya. We're implicit in the conspiracy too, like that, because of our desires. So we're all have a God project, and I can see in my own life, even with well-meaning intentions, where I'm trying to control situations, trying to solve material problems, then I end up creating more material problems and problems for other people too. So, it's not even that people with big influence and power need to have, evil intentions, but just the act of trying to control in the material world, trying to be controllers and trying to solve material problems with material consciousness, then that creates more material problems. And we can go back to, Dear Govinda gives the example of the automobile, like being seen as like a solution to the problem of pollution in cities with horses, horse droppings and things like that. And got to clean up the streets. We need cars. And it's like now we're doing electric cars, but the electric cars still go off the the power plants that are burning coal, and the lithium batteries are even more damaging to the environment than the gas, whatever. It's just like, so it's like, is it really an evil demonic plot, or is it just that's the natural consequence whenever we're in Maya and we're trying to be God and solve problems? Elon Musk wants to make life interplanetary, go to different planets and create colonies and things. How many what problems will that create? So who knows? Time will tell. So I appreciate Dear Govinda giving that we can empathize that just like we're all have demonic energy within ourselves, and it's our process to start with ourselves and transform the demonic energy still, and we can, just the same ways we experience ourselves as limited and struggling with Maya, that all these personalities, all these people are struggling with the same process, being under the influence of Maya. Lynn, did you have your hand raised again, or okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a little bit of a distinction between the Vimanas that are flying by these celestial beings and the aliens, UFOs that are flying around in our skies. Well, they're both conscious vehicles, but I think there is a distinction because the alien vehicles tend to sometimes crash and burn in the desert there in New Mexico, and I think they're made of subtle energy, but I don't think they're not as maybe subtle as the operators of the Vimanas in the Vedic literature. A second distinction is that the aliens themselves versus the demigods that are driving the Vimanas, the aliens are not connected to God, and I'm glad you brought that up, Parampara, about this idea about Prabhupada gives us all this, and one reason or one theory about why we're being visited by aliens in our time here is because they're we have certain capabilities, certain spiritual connections, and also our emotionality. Those are the two areas that the aliens are totally bereft of, and they don't have the emotional depth that we have, our ability to experience different emotions, and they're very envious of that, and they're studying that in us. And also spiritually, they're not very advanced spiritually, even though they have these amazing vehicles that can travel billions of miles in a matter of seconds, but yet they themselves are not that advanced. Certainly not as advanced as the demigods that are on the Vimanas in the Vedas. So there is that distinction there. They're not exactly the same, even though they're both conscious. UFOs are conscious and the Vimanas are conscious, but I think there's still some fallibility there. Like I said, they've had UFOs crashing in the desert, and they seem to be affected by our radar. Perhaps they get sent off course. I don't quite understand how that works, but they certainly aren't the level of perfection of the Vimanas cities that are flying around in the Vedas. There's a difference there. I just want to point that out.
I appreciate that. When he says, ultimately, conspiracy or not, Allah is said to be part of the plan of the Lord. Hare Krishna. Yeah, I appreciate the distinction. Yeah, that these Vimanas, and any technology of these of for sure Vaikuntha, and even.
Fine. You don't have to go there for that.
Oh, you're. Rohini, you have to mute yourself. Hare Krishna. It's my wife. We're here with the family in Connecticut. think she's listening in while she's doing something else. So they're not subject, for sure, the Vamanas of Vaikuntha, they're not subject to breakdown. They're not subject to breakdown like material machines breaking down, need to be repaired, need to be fixed like that. And so that's the advantage of having a technology like that. And then yeah, what you're saying about the alien visitors like that, I think we can be for sure that they're looking for Krishna, that they're coming here, they're looking for Krishna, because we're all looking for Krishna. We're all, and maybe not Krishna by name, but every living entity is trying to understand, the scientists, whoever, trying to understand, where do we come from? What's the purpose of life? And if they're not trying to understand that, we're trying to be Krishna, and trying to control. So yeah, it could be that they're coming to hear Bhagavatam, or they want to hear from Prabhupada, and that this is a good planet to hear from Prabhupada, to hear Bhagavatam, to get spiritual enlightenment. So maybe that's our missionary mission to when the aliens come, to give them Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna.
I want to be the first one to give the alien a Bhagavad Gita as it is. That's what I'm here for. That's actually my purpose on this planet, to engage the aliens and help them advance spiritually. So I want to be the first one to give them a copy of the Bhagavad Gita.
Jai. Interplanetary Book Distribution, Ki Jai.
And I just feel compelled to emphasize what you mentioned, Parampara. So this, actually authorized knowledge about the types of living entities on other planets, including lower planets, heavenly planets. And as you indicated, lower planets might have very advanced technology, and there are heavenly regions on lower planets. The point being that in the Vedas, particularly the Bhagavatam, authorized knowledge about all these aliens. Is alien just someone who's far into a place? It's given there. So and it's just clear information, knowledge beyond speculation. Just read through Bhagavatam. Fifth canto describes different planetary systems, and other cantos too. And then, it's described on some of the lower planetary systems, they tend to be materially intelligent, lacking the light of spiritual knowledge. Some of the bodies are snake-like, as described in some of the UFO literature. So we just systematically read all of Prabhupada's books, particularly Bhagavatam in regard to this subject, then we get authorized knowledge on these topics. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Anything else? Thank you very much for your time and for listening. Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna.